Hello, can you guys hear me? Hey, thank you. That means my audio is fine. Okay, so let's wait for a couple of minutes, then we'll start building our app, which we were building in yesterday's live stream, that news app. So, yesterday we were able to fetch the data from the API and show the list on the UI. That's all what we did yesterday. Should we plan these live streams more often? What you say? Maybe we should have the way other creators have, right? They have some planned days for live streams, right? So, for example, let's say live stream on each Sunday or Saturday or twice a week, something like that. Maybe we can plan. You can drop the comment. What do you think about this? Maybe I can plan this. Okay, so let's start working, but before that, let's grab the latest key. I regenerate the key yesterday. Let's try it one more time. Regenerate. Then grab this key. Go to our constants.cs where we have this key. Now we have our latest key. Alright, let's close the constants. And data is fine. Let's open up the main page.xaml. Right now we were just displaying this description, nothing else. So let's try to design this. But before that, let me connect my phone. All right. Hi sir, I'm having a code that is working Xamarin but not working in mouse, or what we can do to make it work. It is related to offline label displaying whenever there is no internet connected, sir. So without looking at the code, I can't say anything. If you have it somewhere on the internet, on some GitHub repo, or you can share that with me, Praveen. So maybe I can take a look. Or if you are not comfortable with putting it on GitHub, maybe you can email me that particular piece of code. Will this be open source? Yes. I did not add it, right? Okay, I'm going to, after this live stream, I'm going to put it on my GitHub. and I'll add the link to the description of this live stream and the yesterday's live stream as well. Let's see what can we achieve today. All right, so I have this. Let's start running the app, and then we'll start designing it in real time. So sometimes it happens. Debug target configuration properties. So sometimes it happens. I don't know what is the case when it happens. When we open a MAUI project, it simply will not run. It says the project cannot be launched for Android. Please check the error list. So what happens in this case? We need to go to the right click on the solution, go to properties. Here in left hand side in this menu we have this configuration at the very end. If we select it, here we can see the deploy, this thing is not selected. Why it happens, I have no idea, but it happens. So in that case you can simply select this deploy, apply it, okay, and then if you try, it should run. Thank you sir. Do you provide training or any Udemy course by you? I have not created any course yet, but I am thinking about it. Maybe I should plan a basic outline, then ask you guys before working on it, ask on my community post how many people are going to be interested in that, because then only it makes sense to put some time, because that is not going to be same as YouTube video. I can directly jump on the YouTube video, I can simply record anything, but if I'm building a course, I'm creating a course, then it will take a lot of time and efforts. And if I did not get the proper response on that course, then it will be demotivating for me. So that is not a good idea. What happened? And sir, in my project, there are so many performance issues as scrolling and saving and coming back to list page. Processing bar is coming but not dispensing. So like this, and app is also too slow. So I can't say anything without looking at code. There can be multiple uh, reasons for that. Maybe you are doing something wrong in your code, maybe something which should be done in some different way. Maybe you have uh, the your system's configuration, maybe that is not up to the mark. So there could be multiple reasons why you are seeing all those things. Do some Udemy course on .NET MAUI with projects. Yeah, maybe I'll try to plan something. If you focus more on Windows apps, that would be interesting. It depends. I don't think that is going to be a good thing, because right now the thing is we should be more inclined to mobile applications. This is what I think, but maybe. So right now I don't have any idea. I got that idea for that restaurant POS application. So I built that, and after that I I am not able to come up with some idea which makes sense as a desktop app. If there is something, then maybe I can plan a .NET MAUI video for that one. You got students with your project course. Okay, so yeah, I'll try to plan something. It says response status code does not indicate success, 401 unauthorized. Hi sir, please make a video implementing Firebase push notification with FCM. I tried it, I think last year. So I was getting a lot of issues. Using Firebase, I don't know if I should go that route directly, but maybe using one signal or something like that. Maybe I can try Azure Notifications Hub or one signal. I don't know. I need to try out. What things we need to consider, sir, for improving performance in application, like things to be keep in mind? There could be a lot of things. Maybe this can be a good idea for a video. Maybe I can note down couple of things which I think. Then maybe I can plan a dedicated video for that where we can discuss all these things. Trying stock control stuff for desktop app or in general. So I'm going to regenerate a new API key. It is not regenerating. Oh, this is still loading. Mobile application. Desktop app for MAUI. So you're saying stock control stuff. That means showing the. Oh, stock control. You mean inventory stock, or you mean some that share market trading stuff? Hello, Mehmet. Regenerate. Yeah, now it regenerated. Let's copy this. It is 0D2 at the very end. Constants. Save it. Stop and restart the app. Yes, inventory stock. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, it makes sense then. Okay. Yeah. Let's try it for inventory stock management. Yeah, this is a good idea. I can try. All right. So now we can see the data. Let's start designing it. So I should put it this side or here. Okay. Where should I put it? If I add it here, then okay. So first thing, let's try to have this thing in a border. So what I'll do here, I'm simply going to have a border here. Inside the border, let's have this thing. Now we can see these are multiple different things. Instead of description, let's have, we had some title, right? Yes, title. Can you make a video for Maui with an actual API, not minimal API? What do you mean by actual API? Minimal API is not actual API? Or you mean the controller actions web API? If that is what you are saying, the Guru network, then my latest project, the travel expense tracker application, it is not using minimal API, it is using that controller actions web API in .NET Core. If that is what you are saying. And if you mean the external third party API, so in this thing we are using one API from news data, and I have used TMDB API a long time ago, 2 3 years back, for that Netflix UI clone. I don't think I was using ref it in that was pure HTTP client. I don't remember actually. It was a long time ago. Okay, so we have these titles here in this border. Then let's not have this flyout menu here. So for this, we'll go to the shell app shell.xaml. Here we have the shell.flyout behavior. I'm going to make it disabled. So we don't have that. After that, on this page, this content page, we can have a title. Let's say latest news. Save it. Hello, Mr. Prince. Hello, Ronald. So, okay, we have latest news. We have this. Let's have some background color on this page. Some light grayish kind of background color. Let's say hash EDD. Not good. Let's see. We'll change it. Or maybe let's not have it. Let's leave it like white only. We'll have some shadow on this border. So on this border, first thing I'm going to have a stroke shape of round rectangle of, let's say, 15 corner radius. It is a lot. Let's have 10 only. Then I'm going to have a padding of, let's say, 15 here. And then this border outline, I don't need this. I don't like this actually. So for this, we can say stroke thickness as 0. So now we don't have that. After that, we are going to have a shadow on this border. So we'll say border dot shadow, and let's have the default shadow. Save it. And right now it is adding on this label, but it should have added this on this border. Why it is adding on this, I have no idea. Let's see when we'll maybe add another things to this. Let's say if I have grid inside this and then I do this, still it is adding here on the text. Right now I have no idea. Maybe it is not able to figure out because we are doing so. The hot reload sometimes does not get the correct thing for sometimes for shell items, sometimes for these things, but right now I'm not sure. I'm creating my own exam project with reference to your quiz app project, a normal API in the API section. I plan to use your API as a mock in mobile. Okay, all the best. We have image as well, right? We'll see for the shadow what we can do. Inside this grid, let's have couple of rows. First, we are going to have an row for the image which we are getting with this news. So here, let's have auto for now. We'll see what all we can do. So we'll have image with source binding. There was image URL. If we do this, we can see the image here. After that, let's have the label, text binding this thing, and on label we'll say grade dot row 1. Save it and we can see something now. So this shadow is a bit strange here. Do you know why this is happening? Because I have no idea. Okay, then let's have some spacing between these two things, the title and this image. So here we'll have row spacing of, let's say, 5. Okay, save it. And after that, let's try to refresh the app first. Where is it? Here it is. To see if that is some false UI update. Can you please tell roadmap after C# for .NET MAUI? Maybe I need to spend some time to create a roadmap. This is also a good idea. Mr. Prince, what is your main field? Are you specialized in MAUI or are you a complete .NET? So I am .NET full stack developers, mostly for web and backend. And I have started mobile development couple of years back. I started with React Native. Then I spent some time with Flutter, then .NET MAUI, Blazor Hybrid, but mostly web. Okay, we can see this. This is not a false thing, but it is like this only. Okay. Now hmm, let's have this image connected to the left and right corner. So we don't need this padding here. If I remove this padding, we can see this is touching left and right corners, but this text, I want this to have some padding. So what we can do here inside this border, we have these two grids. On this second label, should we have some other information as well? Maybe the publisher source of this news. Maybe let's try that. So that means inside this grid, we are going to have one more grid with grid dot row 1. In here, I'm going to have this label. And on this grid, I'm going to have the nested grid. I'm going to have a padding from left and right, let's say 15, and from top and bottom, let's have 5. Save it. Now we need some spacing after these items. So for this, in the collection view, we can have items layout. Inside this, we can define linear item layout. Orientation is required here. This is vertical. And here we can have item spacing. Let's have 15. So we can have this spacing. Let's increase this, maybe 20. Save it. So we can have this Python code. A little shadow between the rows would be good. Yeah, I was trying that. Maybe I need to do something else for that. I need to try it out. Then your Python course fixed Discord. Oh, totally missed it. Yeah, maybe I need to note it down. Okay. Now on this label, let's maybe increase font size, make it maybe bold. So we can say font attributes as bold. Okay. Then maybe text font size, let's have 16. Okay. During debugging, push notification work fine, but at the time of release, I mean during APK creation, it takes a lot of time and doesn't even get generated. Please suggest a solution. It takes a lot of time. I mean during API creation. You mean the API creation takes time, or the push notifications gets delivered after a delay? Could you have used a card? Ronald, what do you mean by card? You mean some card type of design, or what card? .NET MAUI does not have any card control, built-in card control. Are you referring to some third-party control? Can you create a separate video for Signal R MAUI? Yeah, we can create it. I already have used Signal R for, I guess, two of my .NET MAUI projects. One was Pet Adoption Store, if you remember. There, I was using Signal R. And then in recent social media MAUI app, that is also using Signal R. So if you want to just check out how to get started with Signal R and how these things are going to work with .NET MAUI, then you can check out these two projects, social media MAUI and Pet Adoption app. I think Sync Fusion has a card. Yes. So think Sync Fusion has a card. Yeah, but in this, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm not having any third party control, but it should be straight away. It would have some properties, bindable properties, and you can directly roll it up. APK doesn't create. And are you getting any error in the output window, or there is no error? Technical Jojo. Okay, on this image, let's try to have some height request of maybe 150. I just want to see if we do this, and then on this image, if we say aspect, let's say fill, I think this is fine, right? The corner radius, this is not looking good. We need to have some different color scheme here so that it looks fine, right now it is not looking good. Let's see what is the default color scheme of this. Has this news data, this has this color scheme, right? So let's try to use this color, or maybe this color, this dark color. I see you're showing how to layout. That looks great, thank you. So this color, this is main color. Let's copy this color. We are going to use this color as a primary color in our application. Okay, so let's do this. Here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have that as a title color, this thing, or maybe the bottom tab bar color as well. So let's go to app shell. Here, I'm going to say shell dot background color. It is going to add the color for this section, this nav bar. So I'm going to have this color here, or maybe not here. Let's have this in our resources so that we can use it at multiple places. So we'll go to resources, styles, colors. Let's change the primary color to this color, which is something similar to that color only, right? Let's see. Now in shell, app shell, we are going to reference that color. So static resource primary. Now we can see that color. Now when we have this color, the text is not looking good on this background color. So let's change that as well. Here we'll say shell dot title color white. Now we can see this. Now let's have some spacing from top. For this, we need to go to the page level. So we'll go to main page. Here we'll have a padding from left and right 0, from top and bottom let's say 15. Save it, and let's not have this rounded corner, right? Or should we? What do you think? This rounded corner, is it looking nice or fine or no? I don't like this. Maybe should I try some other layout, because this is not looking that good. Maybe having this image in the left section and then having this in the right section. Yeah, let's try that. Broadcast gone. So is it not coming? Is it back? You're fine now. Okay, okay, sorry. It came back when I refreshed the page. Just now it went off the air. I don't know. Maybe in India. So if you are from India, whatever folks are from India, we have a telecom company, Airtel, and we are having a lot of issues with this Airtel. It simply goes on and off. Okay, so what I was saying, this thing, this UI right now. So what I was thinking, maybe we can have this image in the left side and then this title on the right side here. What do you think? Or maybe let's try both of these approach, right? First we have this thing, then second, for this border, let me copy and comment. Then let's me put it again. And this time what I want, I will have this grid. Inside this grid, I'm going to have two columns. So column definitions, first let's have maybe 100 or 150, rest auto. And then row spacing, no row spacing. Here we are going to have column spacing, let's say a 5. Then here we'll say width request as 150. And then on the right hand side, let's directly have this label with grade dot column 1. Line break mode, character wrap. If we do this, column definitions 150 and auto, let's make it star. And on this grid only, let's have some padding, left 0 and top 0 and right, let's say 10 and bottom 0, so that we have some spacing from right hand side. And this time I'm not going to have any corner radius here. Save it. Now let's try to have some maybe background color on this border. So background color, I don't know, light cyan. Yeah, this is fine. But here this image, this is not looking that good. We have aspect fill. So we should have, let's say, aspect fit if I say this. And then width is fine. For height also we can have a maximum height request of, let's say, 150 only. Let's have this as aspect fill only. So save it, and I guess this is fine. So what do you think? This UI looks fine or the previous one? Am I not visible or audible? It came back when I refresh. You can try to overlay the title on the bottom of the image, maybe a third of the image. Oh, you mean here? Yeah, that also should look good. What your plan about Signal or peer to peer? No plan, nothing. I need to think about it if I can maybe have some idea what needs to be built or something like that. Maybe then I can try out. Refresh the page. Sometimes the feed goes down and comes back up. Okay, it's fine. This looks better. This UI is fine. Yeah, I also think this UI is fine. And with this, we can have on the bottom left and right, we can have other stuff as well, right? We have something, the source or something like that, right? Let's have that source somewhere here. Or do we have category as well? Let's try what all we have. We have news DTO. We are not using this one, but we'll see the fields here. Article ID, title, link, keywords, creator, description, content, publish date, image URL, video URL, source ID, source name. So this source name should be the name of publisher of this. Country, category. So is the category actually a list? Let's see in the new model which we are using. Category, source name, and then yes, category is a list of string. Should we show category as well? First let's show the source name, then we'll see. In main page, after this thing, I want to show the source here. So that means in this grid where we have these two columns, maybe the right hand side also can be a vertical stack layout or a grid. Let's have this as a grid so that we can show that thing at the very bottom, the source name. So let's cut this label. Let's have a grid here with the row definitions of 2. So we'll have star, that means the first row, it will take the entire space, and then the bottom row where we are going to show the source name. So for that we'll just have auto, whatever space the text requires, we are going to add that here. So let's do this then. On this grid, now we'll have this grid dot column 1 to this grid. Save it. Still same. Now after this label, we are going to have one more label. This time grid dot row 1, and here we are going to show the text as binding source name. Save it, and we can see the source name now. This is coming from Times of Malta, edX Live, Express. Okay, let's have some padding here from top as well in this right hand side section. That means on this grid I'm having this 10 from the right. Now let's not have this padding here. Get rid of this padding from here. We are going to have padding entirely in this section now. Now we have this as a grid. It is showing some different colors, yellow and red color. Is the stream still working? Can someone please drop a message, drop a comment? Is it using my thoughts? Can you guys still hear me and see me? I don't know what is happening. It just got disconnected, connected. I tried to switch the network. It says it is showing different colors blinking here in my software. Sometime it goes to red, yellow, green. Okay, sorry about that. You are back now. Okay, okay. So I hope you didn't miss anything. So I have this thing you saw when I added this source, right? And then I removed the padding from the main grid so that we can have that padding here on the right hand side, because now we have this entire section in a grid. So we can have padding on this grid. So we are going to have padding of, let's say, 10 here in this section. All right. Now for these two things, it is at the very bottom, which is fine. This main text, main title, we can have it on the top, but for this particular thing, this is at the start, so it looks a bit odd. Maybe let's try to have it in center. I don't know how would it look like. We don't need line break mode in this case, right? Save it. On this label, let's say vertical options at center. If we do this, it is in center now. For the label at the very end, let's have it at the bottom, which is already there, but still let's have vertical options as end. Then let's have some spacing between these two. So in this grid, we are going to have a row spacing of, let's say, 5. So now we have this small spacing here. Okay. After this, let's have something on this source. Maybe let's have this source as italic. So we can say font attributes as italic. Save it, or maybe we can have it a bit smaller, or this looks fine. Without italic, it looks fine, right? This is good. So we should not have this top padding, or should we? Let's not have this top padding. Let's touch this thing. So on this main page, we have a padding 0 and 0 0 from left right. So let's not have padding at all. This is fine. Okay, I think we are good. Now let's try to have shadow. If it works this time. Border dot shadow. Let's have default shadow. Do we have something here with the default shadow? Nothing. Let's try. Brush. Right now I'm just trying different things so that I can see something here. Some shadow. Shadow brush. And then maybe let's say radius 100. Offset. Let's try restarting. Maybe it is not picking up the changes. So are you guys, if someone from you is working on MAUI in some organization, some company, or all you guys are just learning, or yeah, just learning MAUI or trying MAUI for your hobby projects and all? Okay, it is loading. We have this and we still don't have shadow. Brush black, radius is 100. We had different radius. Let's try to have this inside this grid, because I don't know what is happening. Grid dot shadow. Shadow. If we do this inside this, we have this shadow. This looks good actually, but this is unexpected behavior, but this looks good. What do you say? Isn't this looking good? I have no idea why this is happening. If someone from you knows why this is happening, do let me know in the comments. If I add this thing, direct border shadow, this is not coming up. And if I'm adding this inside this, then it shows shadow on the image and this, and which indeed looks good, but why, I have no idea. So let's leave it like this. Okay, cool. So here if you see, for couple of news in our previous iteration, we had couple of news where we didn't have image, and here also we have this one image where we don't have that image URL. So for this we have multiple options. Maybe in this case what we can try, we can maybe show the image from the source. We have source image URL as well. If you see, we just saw that, right? Source name, source URL, source icon. This should be some image. Let's try. So here now we have two options. First, we can have maybe some converter on some of the property, or the second thing is we can maybe have some computed property where we will check if we have image URL. So for this, do we have image URL? We don't have image URL at all. Let's say instead of source URL, if I say image URL, for this one, we don't have that image URL. Yes, it makes sense. So here what we'll do, we'll simply go to our model. Inside this, what we can do, we can have a computed property at the very end. We'll say prop string, let's say image URL or source icon, something like this. This name is up to you. And here what we can do, we can simply check if string dot is null or white space image URL. If this is not there, then what we'll do, if this is not there, we are going to use the source icon. Source icon, right? Source icon. And if we have the image URL, then we are going to use image URL only. Save it, and then we can simply get this. And here, instead of image URL, we are going to show this image URL or source icon. Now, right now, this is not picking up because we are in running mode. And I added this new property to a model. So it needs to be rebuilt. Let's try rebuilding. I use MAUI for work. I got some tutoring from, yeah, yes, I remember, Ronald. This time it is going to get a new set of images. Let's see. All right, this first one, I guess this is this icon only. But here we don't have any source icon. Maybe for this one, there is no source icon. So ideally what you can do in this case, you can maybe have some default icon, add it in your resources. Then in that case, you can have one more condition. Here, if this is also null, then you can use that default icon. All right. Let's try to have this instead of aspect fill. If we say aspect fit, you can see this, no change for this. No, fill is fine. Save it. And I guess we are good with this page. What do you say? Should we go to the next page where we are going to have the details of this single news? So then yesterday we were just discussing, we have all the information related to this news. We can show that news information there, or the second option would be we can show the actual news in a web view from that website only, from the source. For example, for this one, this is from News 9 Live. So when we tap on this, it will open up a page. There we are going to open a web view with that link to this news. So what do you think? What should we do? Should we have that web view version, or should we have directly render the information what we already have? We have image, description, and all. A lot of things we already have. What do you say? What should we do? I'm waiting. Till the time what I can do, I can simply add a new page. So here I'm going to have one more page for news details. So here we'll say new item and .NET MAUI content page XAML. Here we can say news details page .xaml. And for this page, this is not going to be added on the root directly in the app shell. This is going to be a stacked page with a back button. Okay. So let's register this page for routing, shell routing. So for this, we'll go to appshell.xaml.cs. In here, in the constructor of appshell, we are going to say routing dot register route. Here, first you need to provide route. In most of the cases, we simply have it as name of the page. So name of news details page. Oh, I did this new details page. It should be news details page. News details page. Then this class also needs to be changed. News details page. And then in here, the title, and then this class. Save everything. Now we should see this. Use a web view. Yeah, let's try web view. Let's go to appshell.xaml.cs. Here we'll say news detail view, news detail page, and then the route factory or the type of the page. So we'll say type of news details page. And now we have registered this in here. Now let's go back to our main page. Here we are going to tap on any of this icon, this image item. It should open that new page. So for this, we need to have a command in our view model. So we'll go to view model, main page view model. Here, let's have a command. Hello, Manas Upadhyay. So here I'm going to have a private async task. Let's say go to details page async. And here we are going to get we can get the entire object, or we can get just the source URL, right? Getting source URL makes more sense here, because there is no point of throwing around entire object which has a lot of properties and the data. There's no point of passing the data from the previous page to the details page, because we are just going to use the source URL. So let's have that only. So we'll say source URL, and this is going to be a relay command here. Okay, inside this we are going to open or go to shell.current.go to async. We are going to go to name of the shell, not shell, name of news details page. Now let's use this command on our main page. If here we need to use that, what we will do, inside this collection view single item, whenever we tap on this border anywhere, so on this border we'll say border.gesture recognizers, tab gesture recognizer, and on this we can have a command and a command parameter. So command parameter is going to be this source URL. So let's have this. We'll say binding source URL. Then command. This is going to be a bit tricky. Sir, my brother today cracked UPSC IPS. I work in IT. Shall I start preparing for it now? Congratulations for your brother and for you too. So it depends what you are doing. You work in IT. So it depends. For me, going to the government job, it was never a dream for me. I didn't try it. I did not like that. I liked coding. So I went this route, but it's up to you. If you are not happy with what you do, if you want to go for UPSC, then go for it. Always listen to your heart and your mind. I'm sorry for the irrelevant question. Irrelevant question. No problem, Manis. Okay, so here command. Now, if I simply say this binding, here you are going to see I am having this IntelliSense for all the properties from this model what I have on this data template news DTO. But the command which I added, this is on this main page view model. So that means this is not here. This main page view model, it belongs to the main content page. So we have two options to go there. One is relative binding, one is reference binding. So I mostly use relative binding. What I mean is here we will have an explicit source that is going to be a relative source where we are going to use ancestor type. Here we are going to say just use a relative source. So this binding is not going to be direct binding of its parent. Here we are saying this is a relative binding. Now what is the relation here? We are saying that try to get the type of your ancestors, that means traverse upward, go till the type main page view model. So you should stop there when you find the first main page view model. It will simply start from here, going to traverse upward. It will come to this content page where it will get this main page view model. And on this main page view model, we can simply access that newly added command. This. So go to details page command. Pay attention, async is not going to be part of the command which this relay command is going to be generated. So here at the very end, we'll say path from this source, get this path. Go to details page command. The second option, probably the easier option, is going to be we can have the reference on this. So X name, we can simply add a name to this. We mostly say this, or we can say just VM, or it could be anything. Using this, then here you can say source is going to be this, X reference this, and then path this thing, the same thing. So this is also an option, but I usually prefer this one. Why? I don't know. Maybe when I started learning MAUI, then I use this one. So I always use this one. Free up the storage. Okay, so with this, it should trigger this command and it should go to this news details page. Now, if you go to news details page, here, let's get that source, and on the basis of that source, we are going to do something. Now here we have two options. Either we can here also create a view model, but let me show you, if you don't want to have a view model, then what we can do. So here inside this, what we are going to do, we are going to open up the details of that in a web view, right? That is what we are going to do here. So what we can do in this code behind, this UI, we'll simply have a grid. Inside this grid, I'm having this grid. If I want to add something else, I will simply add here. Here we can have a web view and we can have a name on this web view. So it's now totally up to you. If you want to use web MVVM for this one as well, you are free to use. I'm just showing you that we can use the code behind version as well here. So we are going to have a name here. So let's name it web view only. And let's have an activity indicator as well. Here also, let's first have the vertical options at center, horizontal options at center, and is running. By default, we are going to have it as a value of true, so that whenever we come to this page, this activity indicator will be there running. Okay, then we will hide it programmatically when this web view is loaded. So for this, on this activity indicator as well, I'm going to have a name. Let's say just loader. Save it. Now let's go back here. I am still live, right? I'm still live, right? If someone from you, if you could drop a comment that you can see me, you can hear me. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we are good here. On this news details page, we are going to get the information from the previous page. So we need the source URL here. So for that, we need to access it. So in shell navigation, what we do using this shell.current.go to async, this is called shell navigation. So in this, we call the data when we pass from one page to another, we call this query properties. So we can have access that data here using query property. Let's have a view model only, because having the code behind it has its own issues. So we can mix and match if we want to, but let's stick to one only. Maybe I can plan some different video where I'll be using only code behind, not the MVVM pattern. Yeah. Okay, let's go to view model. Let's create one more view model. We'll say news details view model, and we'll have query property here. Before that, we'll make it as an observable object. So we are going to inherit this from observable object. Okay. And inside this, I'm going to have a private string underscore source URL. And this is going to be an observable property. Save it. Then we are going to use query property here. We can use this on page as well if we are not using MVVM. Here it says name. So name is the property name which is inside this view model. So this is going to be source URL with uppercase S. So we'll say name of source URL. Then we are going to have a second parameter to this. This is string query ID. So this is what we are going to send from the previous page. So in most of the cases, we use the same value so that it is always clear. But you are free to use some other thing as well here. But it should match, the second thing should match what we are going to pass from here. I'm going to show you in a bit, but this is how it is going to work. So source URL, now we are going to have source URL here. Before that, let's go back to main page, view model, and let's pass this source URL to this page. So here on go to async, if we simply put a comma, we can see we have animate multiple overload methods we have. Here one of the overloaded method is iDictionary string object parameters. So we are going to use this one. So let's have a parameters here. Let's just have a parameter. This is going to be a dictionary of string, key, and object value. Okay, and here I'm going to use name of source. Now this thing should match this right thing. So here we'll use name of news details view model dot source URL, and the value is going to be the source URL. Then we can pass this parameter here as a second parameter. Now when we use this, when we'll come to this page, this view model is going to be initialized, and after that it will simply wait for its value to be populated, and then it will populate its value and it will going to set the source URL. Now it will not be straight away at the very beginning. That's why we have this as an observable property, because this is going to be added, the value is going to be updated to this parameter, this property, after initialization. So that means this property is going to change in runtime. However, do you like to play chess? I used to. So I have not touched chess for For years now, for couple of years. No. Earlier I used to play chess. My father likes it. So how why did you ask this question? Okay, so in source URL, so whenever this is populated, then we are going to add this to the web view. Or will you play with me if you get time? Maybe. I have not touched chess last. I don't remember when was last time I played chess. So maybe I'm not sure. I can't say. Yeah. So where were we? Yes, we were here. We are going to get the source URL. Now we need to put the source URL in the web view. So here we'll see. Now there is no point of having this X name for this one as well. You looking cute. Thank you. So on this web view, we are going to have source with binding. Now this thing we need to get it from our view model. So that means we need to connect our view model with this page. So first thing for that is going to be to add that or inject that view model in our code behind for this news details page. So let's have this news details view model. Let's call it view model only. Then binding context, and we'll say view model here. Okay. Now we can go back to the page example. We can have XML and S namespace for our view model. This is going to be our view models, latest news.view models. Hi, bro. Hey, Khalid. Then here we are going to say X data type for this page. This will be the view model, this news details view model. Now we can access that source URL here. Okay. And then this activity indicator, we can have here in our view model, we can have a is busy property, observable property. So we'll say private bool, or we can call it is loading. We will have a default value as true, because when we'll come to this page, the is loading is going to be true because we will get the source URL and the web view is going to load this. So it can take some time here. So we'll say this as observable property and we will have is loading as true. Now with this, if we go back to our UI, here on this activity indicator, we can bind this is running to is loading. The default value is true. Good luck. Does the application target all types of systems? This application? So this is technically targeting all the platforms, but I am just designing it for mobile. So if you want to target for all other platforms, you just need to work on the UI part to make it responsive for bigger screens as well. But I'm not targeting those. I'm not designing by keeping this thing in mind that this can be run on desktop. So I'm just designing it from the mobile device point of view only. The all the code behind view models, everything is going to be same. If you want to target it for desktop, then you just need to tweak the designs, the XAML part only. All right. So we have web view, we have here, we are binding the source, we are adding this activity indicator. Now, when the web view has loaded this URL, then we should hide this activity indicator. Now, how can we know that web view has loaded? So on web view, we have couple of different events. one is loaded, which triggers when the web view has been loaded on the UI, not the source, the web view. Something's not right with my throat. Then we have one more, that is some navigation related, navigating and navigated. So this navigated event, we are going to use this one. So when this gets triggered, inside this web view, if we are clicking on any of the link or anything, it will simply going to navigate to that URL, and then we are going to get this event is going to be raised. Then we can access things on this event, and we can simply hide our is loading flag. Okay, so for this, we are here in the code behind. From here, let's access this view model. So for this, we need to have this private read only field here, and on this view model, we can access the is loading and we can set it to false. Save it. Okay, I think we are good. Now we are using these news details view model by dependency injection. So we need to register this view model and this news details page to our dependency container. Let's quickly do that. So we will go to MAUI program.cs. Here, the way we have this main page view model, similarly, we are going to have builder.services but this time we are going to use it as transient because this will be come and go. So this should be short lived. News details view model and add transient as news details page. Save it, and with this everything is tied up. We should be good to run our app. Let's try, because right now I'm not sure if we are getting the correct source URL, but let's try. Have you made any video about XAML responsive design? Not explicitly for this, but I have used for different devices. So for responsive design, but we just need to keep in mind what all platforms we are targeting, and on each and every option, all these things we have on device, on EDM, we have on platform, all these things which we can target. So for example, let's say on this main page, I had this thing, this width request, maximum height request 150 for this image because I was on mobile device. Now what if I am on the desktop or tab? There I'm going to have much more space. So there I can have a bigger version of this. So instead of 150, maybe I can have 250 or 300 or maybe 500. Before that, we can make it dynamic for different devices. I'm quickly going to show you, but first let it load. Then I'm going to show you what we can do. There are multiple ways to do this. What happened? It is still trying. It is taking time because we had added so many things. Maybe. So when you work on Maui, so what do you target? Do you target all the platforms at once? Because in most of the cases, you will either target for mobile devices or for desktop. There are going to be rare cases when you will target the single app should run on all the platforms. But that can be a case, but it is very rare. Okay, let's see. We have our app is loading. We have all this data. Let's try to tap on any of this. I'll try this one, anti-news. We are here. Is loading. And we can see this. We still have this activity indicator. and now it is gone. That means this page has been loaded now. Greetings from Zimbabwe. Sakura, Nathan. Hello. So you see, now we have this in the web view. I think this is nice. On this page, what we can do, we can maybe remove this top section, this header from this image, this page where we have this web view. I only target Windows right now. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you are targeting getting Windows in the same project, you might target Mac OS as well, but it is rare that for the same product, for the same design or same thing, you will target desktop and mobile both. Yeah, you only mobile. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's a good idea to or maybe it's good to have understanding how if we want to do this, how we can do that. So this is also an option. Okay, so on this page, what I was saying, let's get rid of this header. But then we are going to have an issue with that, and that issue is going to be we will not be able to go back. We will need to use these back buttons and all. So on this thing, what we should do, let's have not have this title and let's have it as a modal pop-up. So it will come from the bottom to the top. Let's try this. So for this, what we can do on this page, the news details page, here title with modal pop-ups, titles are not there. Here we can have shell dot presentation mode. Here we have couple of different options. So we are going to use this modal on animated. So it will come from the bottom with an animation. So if we do this, save it, we are not going to have this thing right now. We can see because we made change it to shell, it sometimes does not work. Let's try this one. It is still using the previous thing. Let's try to rerun the app. How to use tabbed page with tab bar. So tabbed page with tab bar, you can have tab bar in shell or you can have tab bar with tabbed page. So if you are using shell, then you can not use tabbed page. I generally prefer shell for always. For I don't know why people hate shell. Shell gives you a lot of things. You can have the flyout menu out of the box. You can have set up this tab bar easily. You can have the proper navigation with multiple parameters and all. If you are not using this, you need to have the manual, the instances of those you need to push and pop from navigation and all. I don't know. Maybe people are used to do that. If someone of from you is familiar with Vue.js, I used to work with Vue Options API. Although I started with Vue 3, there was one Options API. In this, we had to write everything in a single object with different sections. After that, that composition API came in. It was good. But initially, I was reluctant. I was not happy with the composition API. But after that, when I tried it and I loved it, now I always use composition API with Vue.js. So maybe this is the thing. Shell is relatively new concept. Before that, we had navigation pages, content page, tabbed page, all these things. People are used to do that. And then shell came. They did not try it. They just do not like it. All right. So we have this thing. We need to restart because it is not picking up that internal thing. So let's try to restart the app. I have tried tab page with tab bar with shell, but it fails. Yes, that's what I'm saying. With shell, if you want to have tab, it is pretty straightforward. You will just have this tab bar in here. You can have as many shell contents as you want. The top 5 is going to be added as a tab. Then you will going to have more. So this tab bar, you just wrap your shell content with tab bar and your tab bar is ready with the proper shell navigation and all. So if you want to use tab bar with tabbed page, you need to use tab page directly. You can't have shell in that case. Okay, let's try this one. Google News. You see this? From bottom it came. And we can see this. If you go back from here, let's try this Yahoo News. If I click on it, we can see this. So here we are. Oh, this source URL, is this the, is this is not the news details URL, is it? It is the URL for this. For example, let's say GeoTV. If I do this, it will go to that website, or that it goes to the direct website, not that individual news item. Okay. Let's see if we have something in individual news item. For that, what we can do, we have that response from yesterday. Here, let's see what all we have. Let's try to access one of the article, or maybe let's copy everything. Go to the JSON lint, paste it here, validate. Okay, we have article ID, title, link. Okay, we need to use link. This is the link to this individual news. The source URL, that is actually the URL of the publisher's main website. Okay, so that means we need to use this link. Let's use this link. Here on the main page where we are passing the command parameter, instead of source URL, we are going to pass the link. We'll save it. And then we are going to see this in our news. Here, let's try if it is opening this one. What happened? Okay, now we have that actual news directly. Let's go back. So if we don't have this bottom, these buttons, for example, on iOS, we don't have these. So in that case, we should have some close icon somewhere on top, on bottom, somewhere, right? So that we can close that modal pop-up. Okay, so let's do this. For this, what we are going to do, on the news details page.xaml, we have grid, we have web view, we have activity indicator. After this, we can have a close button. So here we are going to have, we can just have a button with the text as maybe, let's say, just X, so that it mimics that close button, cross button. We are going to have this as vertical options, let's say start on the top, and horizontal options we can have it in center. We can have a background color of red for this one. Save it, and let's see on this page how it looks. So it is here. Let's make it rounded corner, so we'll say corner radius 22. Okay, let's have some margin. So we are going to have margin of, let's say, 10. Save it. Let's increase the font size, so we'll say font size of, let's say, 25. Not good. 20. Not good. 22. Sorry, 15 is a lot less. 18. 18 is fine. Let's have a padding of, let's say, 0 on this. Okay, then we can have font attributes as bold, and then we can have, it looks a lot better on the physical device. Then let's have the some shadow here. So on this button, we are going to say button dot shadow. Inside this, let's have a default shadow, so we can see the shadow. We have a lot of shadow, which is fine, so we are good. And then when we tap on this thing, let's have it on bottom. So on this button, we can say vertical options as end. So it is here now. On tap of it, it should go back. Remove this page from the stack. So for this, we'll go to the view model. For news details view model, here we are going to have a command private async task. Let's say go back async, and here we can simply say await shell dot current dot go to async. We can simply say dot dot, which is go back. Hello, based on your video, I made an application for my study work. Thank you. What what is your application? So when you say study work, that means for your college or for your use case. And what is that application? So go back async. We are going to add a relay command on this. Then we can use this go back command. But for that, we need to close this, stop this, so that we can access this thing on our XAML page. Let's go back to this XAML. Here on this button, we can have command with binding. Now we can see go back command. So save it, and now we should be good. Let's try to run the app again. I always forget where is this. It is here. So let's see now. Can you create simple splash screen? This thing. This is, so having the actual correct image is the issue. Splash screen is that one only, which is controlled from the resources splash, and here we have this SVG. So you can have your SVG image here for your splash screen. Whatever image you will put here, it is going to be displayed in the center. And to control the color, outline color, for that what you can do, you can simply go to the CS Pros. Here if you see, there should be a MAUI splash screen, and this color, this is the color which is that outside color. You can change this color. I can show you. Let's have this as black color. Okay, now if I'll simply run it next time, then you should see the black color. Let's try this one, the courier mail. If I tap on it, it is coming from bottom. We have close button, it is loading. It is going to take a lot of time because it depends on what, how heavy that page is. But I think having the web view is not a good approach here, because sometimes it shows the tabs, sometimes it shows these things, login and home. Someone might think that these options are from our application, but this is not the thing. Give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Pizza delivery app. I study at college in my homeland in Russia. Pizza delivery app. Okay, good. All right. So what I was saying, yeah. So for these things, user might think that these options are from our app, but which is not the case. Now, if we tap on this, this is getting closed, which is fine. There was one news from Google, right? There it shows the tab bar with two options. Let's try different options. We are here. There is no tab bar, but let's close it. The nation. So if you are okay with this, we can leave it like this also. But if you guys, maybe, I don't know, maybe we can leave it like this only for the simple application, or we can have one more approach by which what we can do, because we have all the information related to this. We have image, we have title, we have source, we have content description. So we can create, design our own page with all that information. That is also an option. If you want to, we can try that as well. All right, so I think that's all for today. And what is remaining, the next thing is this saved part. So what we are going to do, we are going to have an option to save some news to read later maybe, and we are going to store those saved news in SQLite database, and then on tap of this saved, we are going to show all those news, and then we can tap on those and then read the information of those news. Okay, for this, let's change this tab bar as well. So we can go to our app shell, and we can have simple shell dot tab bar background color. We can have this some different color, or maybe we can have the same top color what we are having there, static resource primary, and we have primary dark. How this looks, not good. Primary, secondary. For now, let's settle with secondary. We'll see if you want to change it, we'll change it. Will you save this video on your channel? Yes, I will definitely. So I think for that's all for today. What all remaining, we will add some icons. We'll have the saved functionality with the observable property and all, because we want to save those. And for the saved news, we are going to use SQLite to save those news. And then we will see if we want to change this detail page. So instead of showing the source URL, the news detail URL, we will design our own page for that. But I showed you, you can use web view as well. So there are cases when we want to show some third party content. For this, if you don't want to design it, we can use web view. This is also a good feature here, so you can do this thing. All right, so I guess that's all what I'll be doing today, and we'll see. And for that initial question which I asked, so should we do these live streams more often? Maybe we can plan some these live streams on some regular basis. We can decide some specific day, for example for Sunday or Saturday, or for both Sunday and Saturday, or twice a week, thrice a week, or whatever. You can simply put down the comments. I almost read almost all the comments, so I'll see, and then maybe we can plan something. All right, so I guess that's all for today. Thank you guys for joining. Bye bye. Stop this.